All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Heat 1 from Eldora. Greg Boydell and Armando Melgoza on the front row. Andy Patton, Cale Bixler have the second row. Mayor Bixler and Roger Craig have the third row. And Armando definitely hoping for a great finish tonight. It looks like some of the bad luck has been shaken this season. Not all of it, but it would be awesome to see Armando in victory lane tonight. All right, drivers are lined up. Heat 1, they roll out. Greg Boydell up front. He is looking at the Asphalt Championship here tonight. Would be a great night for him to also make it to victory lane here at Eldora. Pace car will drop in next time by. Everybody is stacked up, ready to go. The sun is starting to set just a little bit over Eldora. Feature may be under the lights, but here we go with Heat 1. Pace car is in. The green flag flies. They are down and away. Heat 1 at Eldora. Guys going to the high side quickly, trying to carry the momentum out, but Armando lost a lot of ground off the start. Meanwhile, Greg Boydell shoots to the front, but now has Andy Patton looking underneath. And Andy may have a run. He shoots it down to the bottom, slides it up at a 4. Andy Patton takes the lead in Heat 1. And he also set the fastest lap so far. Boydell now in second. Mayor Bixler now up into third. Cale Bixler in fourth. Mayor Bixler got a little squirrely. Cale may have a run up top. And Cale just drives by up top to take third. Roger Craig back in fifth. Armando has slipped back to sixth. Not the start he wanted tonight as the white flag flies one more time around for Andy Patton. Man, what a dominant run. And out of turn 4, Andy Patton will win Heat 1. Greg Boydell comes home in second. Cale Bixler in third. On to heat number 2. Terry Landis, Mark Dantuma have the front row. Joe Gauthier and Mr. Maurer on the second row. John Tobias and Ed Harris rounding out the field. This is Terry Landis' shot at the championship. Getting the heat win would be good, but getting the position for the start of the feature is ideal. Pace car brings him down. Mark Dantuma was looking a lot faster in practice here tonight. Not known as much of a dirt racer. We've seen Dantuma win in pretty much everything he's ever driven until he got into the dirt cars. Will tonight be the night he goes to victory lane on the dirt? They get the signal. 1 lap to go for Heat 2. Terry Landis leads them down into 3 and 4. Pace car about to duck in. And here they come. Pace car is in. And the green flag flies. Heat 2 is underway. Landis down on the bottom, shoots it into turn 1. That outside line off the start has not been good tonight. But Dan Tuma holds on to second for the moment. Joe Gauthier in third. Mr. Maurer and John Tobias battling back by, whoa! 3 wide out of 2. Tobias is around. Ed Harris caught a piece of it as well. Landis opening up his lead, setting the fastest lap so far tonight. Mark Dantuma currently running in second. Tobias has gone to pit road. Joe Gauthier in third, trying to close the gap on Dantuma. Mr. Maurer in fourth. Ed Harris slow on the bottom. He was caught up in that. He may be headed to pit road as well. And here comes Landis out of turn 4. White flag flies. One more time around. Ed Harris has gone to pit road. Mark Dantuma in second. Joe Gauthier in third. And Terry Landis will win Heat 2. That Heat win is definitely going to help his championship. Oh, he pops a wheelie onto pit road. All right, the drivers have a few minutes of warm-up here to find that last little bit of speed. Drivers begin to roll out. Andy Patton out on track. Greg Boydell, Mayor Bixler. Mr. Maurer, Greg Boydell coming out on track as well. Ed Harris back out. Joe Gauthier back out on track, as is John Tobias. And as we mentioned, of the top 3, only Terry Landis is here tonight, who came in tonight second in points, but with that Heat win, may have just clinched the championship. Mark Dantuma definitely looking fast tonight here as well. Armando Melgoza had some problems in Heat 1. Just seemed like he couldn't get it going off the start. Will he be getting it going in the feature? Only Cale Bixler and Roger Craig have not come out for warm-up. Definitely in for an interesting feature here tonight. Oh, look at that slide job pass by Andy Patton a moment ago. Andy is definitely looking fast here tonight. As warm-up winds down, if you have a favorite driver, don't forget to drop into the comments and let us know who you're cheering for. Warm-up comes to a close, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go racing at Eldora. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are under the lights for the feature at Eldora. Andy Patton and Terry Landis on the front row. Greg Boydell, Mark Dantuma have the second row. Cale Bixler and Joe Gauthier on the third row. Mayor Bixler, Mr. Maurer of the fourth row. Roger Craig and Ed Harris round out the top 10. Armando Melgoza and John Tobias round out the 12-car field here tonight. Everybody on the grid ready to go. And the track is looking still very slicked off. Definitely going to change the way these guys run it and where they can find grip. Everybody gets the 1 to green. And here we go, pace car ducking in. Out of turn 4, the green flag flies, the feature is underway at Eldora. And already some guys looking for 3 wide through 1 and 2. Joe Gauthier appeared to have a problem out of turn 2, and he bobbles out of turn 4. Joe's having trouble getting that car caught back. Terry Landis and Andy Patton battling for the lead. Andy to the lead, but Landis crosses over into 1. Now, and they're just alternating slide jobs and crossovers. Andy has the lead for the moment, having just set the fastest lap tonight. Landis in second, Boydell in third, Cale Bixler already up into fourth, Mayor Bixler in fifth, Dantuma now in sixth. The battle back behind, whoa, Joe Gauthier and Mr. Maurer get a little bit close there, out of 1 and 2. Maurer trying to move up to the high line, but make sure he can do it cleanly. John Tobias banging wheels with Roger Craig. Craig slides back behind. Armando back in 11th, Ed Harris back in 12th. Terry Landis has reclaimed the lead for the moment, but it has been back and forth since the drop of the green for these two. Andy now looking to the bottom for the first time tonight. Terry Landis we have seen all night right down there on the bottom. Looks like Andy's working the middle now. Getting up there into a little bit of the slick, trying to build some momentum. Greg Boydell currently in third place, trying to close back up on the top two. Cale Bixler is almost to his bumper. Mark Dantuma goes on the attack, gets by Maurer. Maurer gets back underneath. A heated battle for 6th place. Maurer's going to take it. Back up front, Terry Landis has pulled away. Now has a 1 second lead over Andy Patton. He is doing exactly what he needs to do to get the championship here tonight. As they run, Terry Landis is the new champ. In fact, I do believe the only way he could lose the championship now would be a DNF. Cale Bixler on the attack, now looking to the high side as he comes on Boydell. And a big run down the front stretch. Bixler now to third, and he's closing the gap on Andy. Maurer now has 6, has pulled a gap on Mark Dantuma. And Maurer is closing in on Mayor Bixler. Bixler a little wobbly on the turn 2. The driver staff said with the dirt update, as it builds up there by the wall, it does get a little bumpy at times. And Terry Landis just put Armando a lap down. Armando has had a problem. The caution is out. That was unexpected. We saw Armando slow down on the bottom. Let's see what happened. Looks like Armando just pulled over but tried to stop before he got back into the racing line. Unfortunately, iRacing just caught it wrong and threw the caution. A rough night for Armando. It was looking like, was really hoping he'd end up with a good finish tonight. He was fast in practice. But a rough heat and a rough feature, Armando's season ends on pit road. It will be a single file restart with less than 10 to go. Terry Landis was opening up a big gap up front, but he is going to have his hands full again with Andy Patton, and especially with Cale Bixler. Cale does seem to be one of those drivers that as the track slicks off, he is on the attack. Cale now up into third, right there by him. All right, Terry Landis in control on the restart. Pace car is in. They fire green. Back in the air. Landis quickly goes to the bottom, and I have to say, it's the first time I've seen a driver on dirt not protect that outside line. That is a confident Terry Landis. Cale Bixler still holds on to third. Boydell right behind in fourth. Andy Patton in second. Just has nothing for Landis tonight. 5 laps to go for Terry Landis. Andy trying to build some momentum. Has Cale right on his bumper. Greg Boydell was closing in, has lost a little bit of ground. Mayor Bixler now closing in on Boydell. And here we go. Terry Landis just 3 laps away from the championship. Andy Patton is picking up some momentum up top. He is closing in. Big run out of 4, closes the gap in a big way. 2 to go. Landis on the attack on the bottom. Andy trying to close in. White flag flies. And Andy almost got to him. Out of turn 2. It's a dead heat into 3. Terry Landis on the bottom. Andy Patton at the line. Terry Landis wins at Eldora and takes home the championship. Andy Patton comes home a very close second. Cale Bixler holds on to third. And folks, we're going to talk to the top 3 here in just a moment. But don't forget, we are not done yet. We'll head to Talladega here in a moment and settle that championship as well. All right, let's talk to our top 3, and let's start with second place, Andy Patton. Andy, man, you really sent it that last 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, I kind of gave it everything I had up there on the top, but the top really started to come in again at the end there. I think maybe one more lap I might have had him, but it was a good race. A lot of fun, real clean race.
It definitely was a great and very exciting race, and the start with you and Terry Landis swapping the lead for the first 5 laps or so, that was
fun.
That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It definitely was, man, and it's been a heck of a season as well.
Yeah, we did okay. Congrats to Terry on winning he did win the championship, right?
Yes, I believe he did.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
for the win, that's his 2nd or 3rd this year. That's pretty good.
He's on the tear, and it does look like you're going to bump up the points yourself into the top 5, so an awesome way to end the season.
Yep, I had a lot of fun, man. It's actually been a fairly competitive league in the dirt. You know, been a lot of fun racing.
Well, a great job. Is there anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
C2C for putting this league on. I mean, they, since Roger handed over the reins, they haven't really missed a beat. Everything seems to be going real well. And, for you and broadcasters like you to keep putting on the great shows every night, we appreciate the hell out of that.
Well, great job. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
Cale Bixler comes home in 3rd. Cale, if that caution had not come out, I really feel like you'd have been up there battling for the win.
Yeah, I do too. I had a pretty fast car. I was just kind of buying time and waiting to see what would come at it. But, that's the way it goes. I'm happy for Terry and Andy, and it was just a good race all around.
It definitely was, and man, you definitely had that charge. I mean, it was obvious early you had some speed, but as the race went on, it seemed like everybody else slowed down, and you just kept your foot in it. It seems like you're one of those guys that really loves a slicked off track.
Yeah, I do. Once it can get to that high groove where you're really pushing it, which I pushed too hard there in those final laps, but once you could get to that groove that I can make up that time, it does benefit me for sure.
Well, it definitely showed tonight, man. That was a heck of a run. Would have loved to seen what happened if it went green, but a great job and a great way to end the season. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Flatline Racing Bodies, Mauer Farm Management, Salty Dogs Racing Team, And my main sponsor, Shorter Angus, for the world's best Black Angus. And you can contact Doug or Drew, and then yourself, Doug, for you putting this on.
Well, great job and a heck of a show tonight.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner and new champ. Well, Terry, it doesn't get much more than that. It doesn't get much better than that. You won your heat, you won the feature, you won the championship. Is there anything else you're going to win tonight?
Maybe the trucks. That'd be fun.
You know what? I do have to say, if you can pull off the truck win, it'd be the first time, at least since I started broadcasting, that somebody has pulled off the sweep on a Tuesday night. So it would round out your Tuesday night really well.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and I'll give it my best. We'll put that yoo-hoo in victory lane, crumpled or not.
Man, I was telling Andy, you guys, the first 5 laps, the battle back and forth between you was amazing. That battle at the end was amazing. How worried were you seeing Andy suddenly come charging back up?
I tell you what, when I was in the middle of the race, and I was like, man, I'm pulling away, the bomb's really hooking up, and then it started getting a little thin, and I saw Andy getting up there and getting closer and closer in the relative, and I'm like, man, I gotta stay down here, I gotta stay true, because I'm hitting my marks tonight pretty good, so I figured, well, let me just stay down here, and yeah, I was telling him I was holding the pedal. Coming out of turn 4 for the checkered, I'm like, don't push it, and then
It was definitely one heck of a close finish and one heck of a battle. Obviously, that caution really hurt you, but man, it did make for a great show at the end.
Awesome. That's easy for you then.
It definitely was, man. A great job, a great season, a great championship. Is there anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Oh, you, Doug, for sure, for putting it on, and How to Suck at iRacing for letting people watch it. And shout out to Kelly and Brian. I missed them guys tonight. I was ready to, like I told Anna, I was ready to go tooth and nail them guys for the championship. But anyway, shout out to them guys. We're going to see them next season. Hope they're okay and all that stuff. Mara Farm Management, because without them, we won't be here. And guys back at KSR, shout out to Blake, him doing what he's doing. C2C, Gourmets Place to Race. Galen's Home Popcorn, put the cart in the checkout and you get 50% off. And my wife, Judy.
Great job, great win. I just looked at your 5th win of the season. Heck of a way to win a championship. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug. See you in the trucks.
Terry Landis gets the win at Eldora. Now going to see if he can pull off the sweep at Talladega. Folks, stick around for just a few moments. We'll be back in just a moment from Talladega with the trucks to see who the champ will be tonight. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.